Hey, everybody, welcome back to another edition of the podcast. Pretty's Alive with me, Warren Werbitt. Today we have, I know you know, a special guest. We have Dharminder Biharie out of Amsterdam, and he's with Sales Letters. He's the business development manager. Would that be correct?
That's correct. I'm a one-man army and doing something with print.
Okay. I tried to make it sound like I had a team behind you.
Yeah.
Well, got to make everybody bigger than they are, but he's big enough. He doesn't. I don't need to make him any bigger. I met Dharminder around, I don't know how many years ago, at a Xerox Premier Partners meeting.
Yep.
We've been chatting ever since, and he's just really into all kinds of different things and trying whatever he could think of to be different and make things work. You've got lots of years at Xerox, at Canon, at EFI. I guess like everyone else, you've just been around the industry because that's what people do in our industry. On the OEM side, they move around.
Yeah, they do.
Cool. Great. So, you know what? Before I get into it, just say something. Tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, okay. Warren, thank you so much for having me in your podcast. Now, first of all, I was always fascinated by imaging technology because I still think it's magic when you make a digital image and you type in Control P or Command P and some printer or press is going to work. Is still magic, you're still capturing history. So I've worked for many years for Xerox as a business development manager when the iGen platform was evolving and growing. That was in the early 2000s. And later on I worked as a sales development manager for electronics for imaging, EU5, for the Nordics region and the Benelux. So I live in the Netherlands. I came back to Xerox and did again business development, some large accounts, Germany as well. And in the Premier Partner Network, some activities, but also managing some of the special groups. And in 2019, I decided to leave Xerox and to go for myself. And that's actually the background. Currently, I'm a one-man army, but with HDD, you have always more employees in your head than you can imagine.
Hello.
Hello. And so creativity is one of the things. And actually, I'm also columnist for the Dutch graphic arts magazine Print Matters. So I write every edition a 2-page column for the magazine as well. Everything about business models, value strategies, and marketing and sales. That's my sweet spot. It has a history because if I ask people, do they know the 3 major mistakes of Xerox in the marketing history?
Okay, I'm not going to start because I'll get all crazy, but why don't you tell us?
So I was fascinated by that. So what happened is actually when Xerox invented the Xerox copying technology in 1937, Chester Carlson, and then in the 50s, 60s, they started selling copiers. And Xerox was actually, and I think the US viewers and listeners know it better than me as a European, but Xerox is actually the godfather of the subscription model. So nowadays what we know with Spotify and Apple and Amazon and you name it, Xerox is the godfather of subscription. So they made a shitload of money and created Xerox Palo Alto Research Center. Between 600 to 700 smart people were working there, and they said, you should develop the office of the future. That was a simple assignment. But smart people developed many smart things, and one of them was, for example, PostScript, Adobe, Offspring, PostScript. But they invented also the computer, and they were connected with each other, and they were working on a graphic user interface, and they had a plastic device with a cable on it with 2 buttons called the mouse. So actually Xerox had the mouse, the graphic user interface, and Ethernet connection, network connection in their backyard, and still they didn't manage to capitalize that. So, and Steve Jobs, they invited the late 70s Steve Jobs and said, hey, what do you think? He said, well, quite interesting. The rest became history. So I was fascinated by that idea of, okay, how is it possible that large companies, Xerox, Kodak, so many companies have the same issues, not only Xerox.
You mean the big public companies, the ones where everybody's covering their ass and nobody's doing anything for the better of the customer? Those?
Yeah,
okay.
Those.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah. Okay. I got fascinated. So in 2016, I did my master's on business model design because it was on leadership and a business model design. So I specialized in business models because at the end, it's all about leadership and how you compete in the market, not with what. Most people are competing with what. I say it's not interesting. The main question is compete on how. if you can compete on how you're becoming king. So that's actually my background. So I was fascinated by some major mistakes in a corporate life, and I made a study out of it, and I got fascinated. That's actually the short version of it.
No, you know what? But that's it's pretty good in what you just said, because and not to knock the big companies, but I'm okay to knock the big companies. But yeah, finding they make lots of errors, those big companies, and there's lots of there's lots of businesses that can come from finding the cracks and to smooth them over,
Yeah.
right?
And innovation, and even for Xerox, of SMB, of mid-sized companies in every country, US, Canada, Europe, you name it, Netherlands, Germany, most innovations or improvement in our industry, if you talk, never happens in the industry itself, but always on the edges or outside that you can't see. So, and I realized, because when I looked at that time at my customer population, that was interesting as sidestep, was interesting. The most successful customers with digital printing and the applications were non-graphic arts people. They had consultancy background or design, and they designed the need and the desire in the market, but the outcome was print. And that's a total different mindset that when you are thinking that print is needed, and that fascinates still. It's fascinating to see.
Yeah, well, our industry, I think, is a little bit more about a race to the bottom line and not so much about creativity and solutions, unfortunately, right?
I,
We've got, and don't get me wrong, we got the great companies who do that, but the majority are not doing that, and the majority can use help to get better at what they do if they're willing to listen and take some chances and make things happen.
People only change when they have enough pain, and as long as they don't have pain, they won't change.
So
It's
get
that simple.
this, our industry, I don't believe that, because people have been in pain for years and have not made change.
Yeah, but when you're stubborn,
Okay, but that's something else. But I'm just saying, right? Our industry is notorious for
yeah,
people needing to do things and not doing them. And I think, by the way, I think a lot of it is a lot of owners don't know who to trust, because everybody's coming at them with these magnificent ideas, no real backup as to results and promises. And it's just too difficult. Who do you decide? What do you decide?
when somebody comes to your shop, to your company, says, hey, your baby is ugly, and you work your ass off for 20, 30 years, it's not the nicest message. So the packaging matters. And if the packaging matters, consultants or advisors should try to change the tone of voice to get in touch with, I'm living in Netherlands. The Dutch are famous for being Dutch direct, and even the Dutch people have hard times with the directness if it is all about their business, telling that something could be improved. But enough of that. We are going to talk about.
By the way, I know nothing about directness.
No? Oh, I'm surprised. You're so always political correct.
I try my best. Best.
Oh.
There's nothing worse than pissing somebody off.
Yeah, agree.
Especially when you're right.
Yeah, agree.
Which not that often. So let's get on here. Hang on. So I got to tell you, when I was talking to Dharminder, the thing that really got me was what he was doing, and my jaw was basically on the floor, because I don't hear anybody ever anymore talking like this. All I hear today from people is technology, email, there's some direct mail, but this is even going rudimentary. And I don't know how to better describe it then. You've gone old school. You've gone back to doing business letters. You've gone back going back to do the business letters. I mean, your results are incredible, which I'm going to tell you right off the bat, it's not hard to believe, because me as a person, I get a letter, I'm excited, right? I get anything with my name on it, I'm excited. But a letter, a note from someone that's real, with guts, and not a promotion, and not an offer or a way to hook me, just an honest, I'm interested letter. So I'm going to, you know what? Go ahead, and I can't describe it any better than you. So why don't you take us there?
So it has a history. By the end of 2024, I had in the past an account at OpenAI, where you had to really prompt your AI chat. And then later on, ChatGPT was launched, so I was playing already with AI, and I'm dyslexic like hell. So writing correctly is not my best skill, but writing with creativity is benchmark. And by the end of 2024, I saw that, and I said, hang on, AI is going to destroy marketing, sales, and communication, because I see a tsunami of shitload information going through social media channels and to business communications towards customers with all the same templates, same story, and I got bored. I said, hang on, serious? Is this the level what we think is marketing and sales? That can't be true. So I made a decision and I said, hang on. That was in January. I said, I don't want to compete anymore on the screen of the mobile telephone. So that was my first decision. I'm not going to compete on digital screen, because every day there's a genocide of billion pixels in data centers were created but never reach the end goal. So it's waste of energy, Yes, creativity, cooling water, and let's say not so ethical mining of raw materials to manufacture those hardwares to do the stupid prompts and on AI. And believe me, I'm a fan of AI. I love it, but it's my co-host. It's not my strategy.
It's a tool.
It's a tool. So you should do the mathematics in your head and use a calculator as a tool. But if you can't do the mathematics in your head and you only need to calculate it, you will lose the market. That's that simple. And so I made that decision, and I thought, okay, what I'm going to do. So I wrote in 2-3 months a program for commercial companies how to train people writing sales letters again. So the godfather of copywriting is actually direct marketing. Audience in the US know Dan Kennedy, for example, or Eugene Schwartz in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. Those people made direct mail copywriting massive. Those are the godfathers. If you want to learn something about marketing and sales, you have to dig into the old books backwards. So that's what I did. So I rewrote a program, and since I'm a co-host here in the Netherlands of a podcast called Sales Bosses, we interviewed more than 200 commercial directors of mid-size and large companies about their sales. So I dropped a message in the WhatsApp group. I said, hey, which knucklehead wants to test my beta program of sales letters? Feel free, it's a beta, so there will be some errors and mistakes, but it's an early customer trial acceptance. So are you in? 3 companies applied. And
sorry, what kind of companies? I'm just curious if where they come from.
Worldwide rubber manufacturing, for sealants manufacturing, a technical company of technical pipelines for heatings and cooling, and another was agency for human behavior. So even the human behavior, even the help other companies for influencing human behavior and to get something done needs sales too.
By the way, every business is selling something, right?
Red Cross is selling, Greenpeace is selling, the church is selling, everybody is selling. A kid of 4 years is selling. They forget the skills because they think it's not. But when they are 6 and 8, they're whining to get their thing. It's actually they're selling. So we did the test, and I knew it's gonna be good. But the rubber company, they nailed it. They really nailed it. Their conversion rate was 60%. So out of every 10 letters,
nothing is 60% today.
No,
I'm just saying, when you're saying 60.
Yeah.
How?
So what I do is very simple. I keep it stupid simple. So we create a letter. If I train how to write letters, you mail it and you need a phone. Make a phone call. That's it. Nothing else. So no email, no funnels. I still don't have my own website ready because I'm still busy making business with letters without a website. So I don't have funnel, white papers and all that shit. So I only send letters and make a phone call to the managing directors. So they're doing the same process. And out of every 10 letters, 6 get to an appointment. And from the 6, 3 get business.
Explain.
I send out a letter to a potential customer, the managing director. And in Netherlands, we have, let me grab it. It's over here somewhere in my, we do have stamps, like a Valentine, pink heart.
Right.
There's Dutch stamps. You can buy them. If you love someone, it's called love stamps. So I always stick a love stamp on the envelope, and I do handwriting to Warren Werbitt. So I got him on the line.
By the way, I never got that letter.
No, no, you won't. But I will send you a letter, promise.
Okay, please.
And I called him. I got him on the line. That's funny. People think selling and getting in touch with the managing director is hard by email. Yes, of course it's hard by email. Of course it's hard by social media because, like I said, there are billions of pixels dying every day and wasted on the digital LCD screen. So why bother about that? And I will do the translation correctly. If you're walking behind, marketing lesson number 1, listeners, if you're walking behind a kettle, you're always walking behind the shit of somebody else. So make your choice. Where do you want to walk? In front or in the back?
Well, you're either a leader or a follower.
Yeah, but in case everybody's having a kettle behavior, there will be a lot of shit. That's default in marketing and sales. I will explain it later as well. So the managing director, I got him on the phone and I said, yeah, you're speaking with Dharminder from the letters. And his tone of voice sound negative. I said, you're the guy of the sales letters. And I thought, oh shit, this is going to end up in a bad conversation. This won't be this is not an appointment. And I said, yeah, you send me a letter with a stamp with a heart on it in pink, handwritten. I had to explain all my staff that I don't have a lover. And I said, but did it grab your attention? He said, yeah, hell it did. I said, did you like it? I said, I loved it. I said, should we make an appointment? Yes. Okay. And that's it. That was my sales call. Nothing else. That simple.
And by the way, what I'm hearing is of the old way of the letter, but it's old humor too. Right? It's communicating two people actually laughing together.
Yes. So every sales letter should create a smile on the face of the receiver. That's my. So when I go to companies, I say you should use humor. No, can't. We are a serious company. Blah blah blah. I said, what happened? Is the laugh liquid? You run out of laugh liquid on your department? Didn't you refuel it? Humor works. If you have self-spot, I use it. When I don't take too serious, I use it. And when people read it, they get a smile. And there's one thing I really learned from sales letters: you can't reject sympathy. People forget it in sales. You can't reject sympathy. And if you create sympathy through a letter, it's extremely powerful. And I'm always surprised that how many marketeers have this wrong, because they are all in transactions. That's actually what I do. I train people how to write letters. And of course, because my background is graphic arts, I say, okay, you need a specific kind of premium paper. Think about your design of your document. Use the right fonts. What kind of stamp do you want? How's everything, the basic design things.
Old school.
It's old school.
Old school materials, old school thinking, using modernized custom printed stamps to get their attention.
Yeah, and talking about stamps, here in Netherlands at the Royal Dutch Mail, you can design your own stamp and get 100 stamps for yourself, for your own branding. So I
think all the post office do it everywhere, actually.
So I have my own branded stamps for my branding to showcase that it's working. And yeah, it's extremely powerful, and it's very simple. It's simple tactics. It's not rocket science. And a good sales letters elevates 3 things. One is your branding, because I say public servants send emails, monarchs send letters. So my letter is premium paper, has, I hope you can see it, embossing stamp.
Love it.
I do have seals for my embossing stamps. It's all premium paper. Yeah, this is just a white print, for example. But I'll have premium envelopes, premium papers. It's really, you're receiving a letter from the White House or the president.
And you have a good feel in your hand. It's not shitty paper.
It's not shitty paper. And what it does, because you're using premium material, premium design, premium fonts, your brand value increases. I never have a price discussion. So the brand value goes up. Then you have advertising. So a good sales letters is like a very good old-fashioned advertising. So I will read. This is an example letter I was writing. So
hang on one sec, if you don't mind.
yeah,
You were talking about the fonts, and I just want to go back and forth, old school, new school.
yeah.
So you use the word font, but really what you mean is typography.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
typography is what changes the look and feel of the content.
Yeah.
Today, the youngins and the young graphic artists, they don't know the word typography, and that's another problem in the world of graphics creative that we live in.
Agree. So if you write down we're a billion-dollar company, if you do that in Comic Sans, or you write the same, we're a billion-dollar company in Georgia. Two fonts, but it will have a different look and feel. So your sentence, your words, your copywriting with the right fonts do matter. People forget that. It does matter how you are going to be perceived.
Old school.
Old school. So I'm using, for example, old IBM mono letters.
Wow.
Yeah, they're free.
Where did you find them?
On Google Fonts. So that does public. IBM released their brand fonts in the public domain, so you can use it. So they are very good mono fonts, very suitable to use it for the sales letters.
Very cool.
So cool. Fonts do matter. And then people ask me, oh, should we do the branding and the logo and the color? And I said, no, cut the crap. No shit. No, we are not going to do it. Everything is just black and white. No branding, just the message. Everything is a fucking distraction, nothing else. And I get always in a fight with marketing and communication because they want to have the logo, the fonts, and etc. I said, no, it's not going to happen.
Those are textbook marketers who just go by what the pages say.
I call them accountant marketers because they only want to manage what's on the numbers. I'm not impressed. They can only measure dashboards, not the feelings.
Do you know my friend G. Rashina? You got to talk to him because he is so up on the way marketing should be done, not the way it's being done.
Yeah, and so everything is black and white, so no distraction. The premium design, premium fonts. I said, okay, well, here's the letter of the monarch with an embossed label, everything. And with my fountain pen, I do my signature in green ink. That's it.
Wow. Okay, so tell me what each of those three companies did and what they saw and how they felt.
Okay. So the worst performing client does 30% conversion.
How much?
30.
That's the worst?
That's the worst conversion. And the best conversion is 62%. And out of the so every commercial company is looking for leads, and they all say, oh, when we get to the table, we can talk with them, we can sell it. So, okay, I can bring you until to the table, improve your branding, communication, and give you some mentoring to get you to the next level, because what you do now is too commoditized marketing and doesn't make any sense. They agree on that. So out of this 30 to 60%, mostly 50% converts to an order.
Are these companies doing anything special with what they're selling that people want everything, or?
No, it's commodity products.
Just commodity products.
Commodity products. So they get the. So I'm sending sales letters to managing directors to sell my sales letter program. So I'm using my letters as my sales and marketing tool. Every time I ask a managing director, what was the hook? What do you think of how I trying to get in touch with you? I said, well, you invested time in me and you tried something. I liked the copy and you called me. But the energy that I put in to create a letter for him is my best argument. Because lazy accountant marketers, they don't want to invest. They only want to read numbers on the dashboard. So people feel it. So one of my philosophies is sales letters, humans are not a data point. They're people, and people have emotions. Data points doesn't have emotions. You can't read it in a dashboard.
Data points is like AI. AI has no emotion. That's why people
has no emotion,
people,
has no context.
Right?
They pretend to have context, but that's not true. So I forbid people to create data point approach for sales letters. I said, well, it's not going to work for your company. And I had some companies who said, okay, we are going to do it by ourselves. We don't need your service or your consultancy. I said, well, go ahead. So after a few weeks, I called them and they made a letter with AI. They did handwritten envelopes. Okay, said, okay, surprise me. What's your conversion? 20, 40, 60%, to an appointment? Zero. I said, do me a favor. Can you send me the PDF of the document you send it? And I got the PDF and it was really embarrassing. All the traditional pitfalls, all the traditional mistakes, they made it. And he said, yeah, can you help me? I said, yeah, I can help you, but the price has doubled because you're using AI. It means you have to pay twice for the same proposal. So I give you an option to do it correctly. And yeah, you didn't want to listen. So have a great day. Bye. No mercy.
What? No, and by the way, no one should ever have mercy on anybody for that, because people who take the time to do what they do and know what they do,
yeah,
it's wrong when others think they can come in and just make it happen. But you prove them wrong, right?
Yeah, agree. And the funny thing is, one of the reasons why it works very well, Warren, is actually quite simple. So marketing is all about a sales psychologic things, right? Today's accountant marketing and sales, looking all days to dashboards and to see how many calls you'd made, how many phone calls, visits, emails, blah, blah, blah. The metrics marketing. I call it accountant marketing.
It's quantity over quality.
Yeah, exactly. It's efficiency. I tell them my sales letter is not efficient, but it's unbelievable effective. So you have 100% of efficiency. I have 50% of effectiveness. So what do you want? If you want efficiency, go ahead with digital. So you have psychologic. So all the accountant marketeers, they understand logic, but they don't understand psychologic. So if you have logic, you create patterns in your marketing and sales. And patterns are easy to copy, to hijack by the competitor. So that's one of the main problems. So when your competitor is using AI, they have more budget, or smarter people, they can outperform you with AI by stealing your hooks, your templates, your messages, everything. You're lost. And that's already happening right now. Even when you go to LinkedIn, to the company pages, they have the media library when you can search the company and you see all the ads and the performance is in public domain. So my argument is very simple to those companies. I say, okay, listen, how much do you spend in euros on digital marketing? Well, let's say 50K a year or 100,000 euros or dollars a year. I said, did you realize that every dollar or euro you spend on digital marketing, 50% of that is inspiration budget for your competitor?
Interesting way to look at things.
And then you see the managing director going, what do you mean? I said, well, they have AI. You're in public domain, actually, in the public controlled domain with your marketing. You're inspiring the competitor. What you're going to do or planning to do, whatever. What do you think what they will do? What did you do in the last year? Yeah, I looked at my competitor, what they're doing. So, well, 1 + 1 is 2, or is 3 in this case. I said, so give me a very good reason why you're spending 50% of your marketing budget to inspire your competitor. Let's talk. I don't have a reason.
Well, if you asked me that, in that case, I'd be sitting there going dumbfounded, like, oh boy. And then I'd probably say to you, please tell me more.
Yeah. I said, okay, well, you've received my old-fashioned letter. Yeah, I did. I said, okay. Do you feel comfortable with stealth marketing? What? I say, yeah, stealth marketing. Because we are going rogue. Oh? I said, yes. Because digital marketing is visible, but good direct mail is never visible because it's not on a screen and not on the socials. Nobody sees it, but it's still happening. If you look at a charity who does all the acquisition letters or letters for funding, the charity, they still use direct mail. So I said the good thing is when you send out sales letters to your potential customers, your competitor will never know what you're doing. And I had this theory when I started with Western Rubbers, the company. And Luke, The sales director said, "This is too psychological what you're telling me." I said, "Well, try it." So he had an event. It's like the Drupa for the rubber industry in Germany. He was on his booth, and two of his largest competitors came to him and said, "Luc, I would like to ask you something. How the hell did you manage to get those two large customers? We didn't have any clue how, because we have online tools by following your social media activities, all that, but we didn't see anything." And he called me in the evening when the trade show was over. He said, "Dharminder, your theory was right, because we went stealth, so we are not visible for the competitor, but only for the customers. It made sense for us."
Wow.
So the hard reality is,
everything you put out there is out there for everybody else to see. And AI is just making it quicker, easier. And
how did ChatGPT became big? They scraped the whole internet. They used energy of a medium. I think the first ChatGPT engine used, I think it was 57 or 60 gigawatts of energy to do all the scraping and compiling all the data. So AI didn't exist it in once. They needed information, and the only information they could get for free was scraping internet, your and my data. It didn't happen suddenly. They needed input, and the input was internet. So even nowadays, marketing-driven tools with AI, I'm not so sure I would like to invest in that.
I think that there are some legitimate companies that have come up with some great mechanisms to pull some data, but
Yeah,
I have more people in my feed offering up leads, lead gen, sales, that most of it is bullshit because they're just going out and scraping LinkedIn or doing whatever. Right? Everybody has now, everybody's into those agents calling for you or the non-human
appointment setters.
How good could they really be? Because at some point, like everything else, click.
You know, the agents who are selling your products for you, imagine going to a hospital. "Yeah, I need surgery on my heart." "Oh, well, hang on, there's someone else going to do there's an agent going to do the surgery."
Well, in a few years, if you speak to Elon Musk, he's going to have a robot in there doing the surgery. But that's a little different.
It's different. I will trust the robot. But
yes.
If it's about the foundation of your own business and your core, what you believe, never outsource it.
No, for sure. Okay, so I just want to go back. So any of your customers do letters multiple times, or have they just done them once and then seen a great return?
No, so we do only letters for new business, lead generation. And then, so the dwell time, so some mechanisms. So if you have a two-side letters, the average reading time depends on the speed of the person is between 3 to 4 minutes. If you realize that an average scan of a digital or a social media post is less than 5 seconds, and then swipe, means that every minute is the same like 12 social media posts. Every minute of letter reading is equal to 12 social media posts. So if they read 3 minutes, it means 36 social media posts. So if you
posts,
nobody ask your managing, ask somebody. Do you remember the social media post or the email that was sent 3 days ago in the afternoon? Nobody knows it. So 3 to 4 minutes for two sides. And people say, no, you have to be short and sweet when you send out a letter. That's bullshit, because for the human behavior design agency, we did a letter with 6 pages.
It depends what it is and how you're doing it.
Yes.
Right.
So sending a letter, crafting a story on paper is an art. And smart people love art. Managing directors who are on a different level love art. So if you, the reality is, if you're sending a double-sided A4 or letter paper or 6 pages, 3 sheets, double-sided printed, what really happens is that most of the people keep the letter between 3 to 6 weeks on the desk. So the dwell time is really long. And they read it multiple times and they show it to other people. Because especially when you receive a premium letter with premium paper, fountain pen.
Right.
Embossing stamp, embossing label, blah, 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 everything. They're going ballistic. Your marketing,
It's
branding,
exciting. It's exciting.
it's exciting. And when he has my letter, he or she is reading my letter, I'm not competing with this one.
Now, and by the way, we all get tons of email,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I get some really good email, and I have a problem. The problem is everything comes in so fast. I'm looking so fast. I'm turning, I'm clicking. I don't even remember to go back to the good email to read it because of time. But
Yeah.
if I get a good direct mail piece, or if I ever get that letter from you, stuff like that sits around, like you said.
Sits around. And the second sales and marketing argument is, if you send one letter to a possible prospect, you have the opportunity between 3 to 6 months to call twice with only single letter. So when you got my letter, Warren, and I call you after 3 months, and I sent you a premium letter with everything was premium, design, letters, fonts, finishing. I say, hey, Warren, you're speaking with Dharminder. Do you remember my letter that I sent to you? They all say yes. And the conversation is open with one letter. So there's no funnel, there's no social media posting, there's no white paper, there's nothing involved that's digital can compete with that feeling. And that's the beauty of sales letters, and that's I'm developing.
Let me ask you, why do you think nobody does a sales letter anymore?
Oh, it's very simple, because a sales letter reflects your soul. And most people are
soulless.
They're soulless, they have nothing to tell, they have nothing to write.
No heart, no excitement.
No excitement, they're not enthusiastic. And they are accountants because they're looking to the dashboard performance. They can't, so they see through the data. They can't see, so they're making their customers a data point and not humans. I say, well, customers, potential customers for me in human, not a data point.
You should talk to my friend Bill Farkinson, who does sales training, because I wonder what he would have to say about that. I'm loving it. I'm looking at it actually as 3 levels above direct marketing or direct mail, right? Because direct mail, it is direct mail, but at another level of thinking, it's at an intellectual level actually, versus just a visual play. No, because everything else is pictures.
Pictures, yeah. And so you should win with your words, but like I said, it should create a smile. So this letter is in Dutch, but I will translate it. So people order a Budweiser. Budweiser is famous beer in North America and Canada probably. People order Budweiser, but they keep on talking about that special lager. My question is, how long would you like to stay Budweiser? So in your branding, so are you the Budweiser or are you the special lager, homebrew special lager that everybody talks about during when they have a party or a meeting or gathering, that someone is bringing special beer. So you can tweak with words and creating smiles on somebody's face. And that's actually the simple beauty. So my largest customers, they re-signed the digital marketing agency. So they had said, well, thank you for your service and everything we spent on Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, white papers, funnel building, etc. It's done. And I got a few weeks ago the biggest news of Luke, the sales director. He said, we are building a new CRM system. And Dharminder, he said, you will never know what we are going to add to the CRM. I said, well, tell me.
Letters.
They are building a sales letter button function into their CRM so that all the salespeople worldwide can start sending letters to their customers.
Wow.
Because we have proven in Europe that's effective. And Warren, at the end, the only thing I do, I give you attention. Nothing else.
It's not the same, but similar in that, like, with the Print Whisper shop where I'm selling sweatshirts like this, I may as well do a commercial for myself. If you're in the fishing, yeah, there's yours. Live the life of sales letters.
Yeah.
When I get an order, I send out a thank you card, handwritten. I'm not writing a novel because I'm not. It's just that, dear whoever, whatever, just want to really thank you for your, for purchasing something and for helping me be the whatever, something just homey and nice.
Yeah.
And funny enough, I've had people email me or even call me to say, thank you for the thank you letter. That was wow. And then I'm sitting there going, oh my God, thank you for the thank you for the thank you, because I'm sitting here smiling and all I'm doing is taking it back to a people thing, right? Because the online world of buying is great, but we all lose out on people and we all lose out on how to talk to people. The letters
Exactly.
bring back thinking and talking.
And an average salespeople, so you shouldn't be afraid to make phone calls. So, the first question you ask, why are people not writing letters? So there's a whole generation that grew up with digital, with social media, with Google, Microsoft, you name it. We know that we are leaking our personal data, or they are stealing our personal data for whatever reason. In the terms and conditions, we say approve, when they launch something. And those people say, oh, well, I know that Google or Facebook or X or LinkedIn knows something about me because they can compile data and create a profile. That's what always is happening. And they say, well, I don't care as long as it's useful for me to use the app or the platform. Okay, makes sense. But if you use the same data, you put it on a paper, you print it and send it out to him, and from, hey, Warren, we know that you visited on that time, that and that location, they think, oh shit, they know everything, and then they got scared. So the value of paper and data is perceived totally different than on an email or on a screen. And the other thing I found out is that some of the people find it they think too much transactional in sales and marketing. The thing they ask, can we measure what the effectiveness is? I say, yeah, you can do. Where's the dashboard? You say, you are the dashboard. Excuse me? Yeah, say, you are the dashboard because you have to make phone calls. I say, yeah, because every letter needs to follow up. You should make a phone call, ask to the guy or to the person you sent and have open a conversation. I said, sales letters is never about, that's the, one of the key foundations is never about selling. People think that I'm writing specs, selling you a disc. No, it's all about opening dialogues. That's what I do.
No sale.
There's no sales. I'm opening only the dialogue.
Listen, you know how many companies that do direct web to print, direct to print on demand, that never send anything printed correspondence with the customer? It's email. A print company not sending a thank you written or a follow-up written or anything. It's an email survey. We've lost it. So
there was one company I invested a few months ago in a VoIP phone, voice over IP. So I've got a fixed number with a real phone, and I'm distracting. I'm rewiring my cell phone versus a real physical phone with something to grab and to smash it on when you have a bad call. That happens. So I was looking online for a VoIP provider that can offer me the service. There was one I found. I said, okay, they have a good, the platform looks promising. I said, oh, you know what? I called them to see if I can get a subscription and to ask something. The only way I could get in touch with them was with the form. So you're selling phone lines, but the only way to get in touch was through a form. I said, this is not going to happen. So I found another one who had a phone number. I said, hey, listen, this is what I need. What does it cost and how good are you? No, they said, okay, send me the contract. I will sign it. And you have a customer. It was done in 2 or 3 days. So people forget to be nice and to open dialogues. And it also matters that you need to have a certain seniority for sending letters and opening the dialogue. So when you are junior, you can't do it.
I was going to say, in sales, you're always aiming for the highest level to connect with, because when you connect up here, they send you down.
Exactly.
As a fisherman, I ain't going upstream.
No.
Okay. I want to go at the top, and I want the top to send me down.
Yeah.
Because no one's arguing with the top.
Yeah. Agree.
You're at the bottom and you want to go up. Everybody at every level wants to know what you're doing and wants to stop you and block you so they can control the scenario.
Yeah. So that's why I'm always aiming for the highest person in the company. It's that simple.
Old school. Everything you're saying is old school. I love it.
Yeah, it's old school. So that's actually the basics of sales letters. And the reason why it works also very well, because there's a difference. So I will explain to the audience. Everybody knows a business plan and a business model. So people ask me, what's the difference? In a business plan, you're competing with what? In the business model, you're competing on how. The what is the outcome. So the way you compete in a specific market is the how. So in the business plan, you decide I'm going to Rome or to Paris, whatever. And in the business model, you say, well, I'm going to Rome or Paris by train, bike, hiking, swimming, flying.
You're laying out the plan.
Exactly. So what most people do in a business plan is they have a product or a service, they want to sell it, right? Because they need revenue to pay all the bills and employees and stuff, blah, blah, blah. So simplified, it means I have a product or a service. I would like to exchange this with you for money. That's the basics of a business plan. When you are going to, so when I do the mentoring of the business owners on this, the first thing we're going to do is talk about attractiveness. Because if you're not attractive, nobody will visit you in the bar. It's that simple. So if your business model is attractive and you're competing on the how, you will attract customers much easier. And then your sales and marketing will be easier. There's a different gameplay. So I'm playing the game of attractiveness, not of selling. I'm opening dialogues, and from the dialogues, it converts to sales.
And I think it's probably a longer relationship.
It's all about trust. And
no, but the way you're doing it, when I say that, I mean, because the way you're doing it, you're going in firsthand with a nice, warm, emotional letter. You're getting their attention.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're going in the other way, it's just you're quoting hit and miss, right?
Yes.
When the person knows that you've curated something for them, that you have an interest in them, that you're thinking of them, and that it's somewhat unique, that's what they want. Otherwise, it's the dime a dozen.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I'm talking to some customers and they'll ask for something, I'll say to them, like, I need 3-4 days. And they're like, well, what do you mean 3-4 days? I said, well, if you want what the other guy has, I'll give you it tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's why people who do the accountant marketing and sales with the foundation of a business plan needs to do a lot of volume to get the same results. So that's why they need to send out trillions of messages, trillions of emails, trillions of social media posts to get the same amount. So the question number 2 I always get from sales directors and the managing director, how many thousand letters should they send per month and we should follow up? I said, okay, I give you 3 seconds to reframe this question and ask again, how many letters did I send it to you? Only 1. I said, okay, rethink. I said, depends on your product, service, and market. An average salespeople account manager needs to send between 15 to 30 letters a month and follow up. That's enough, probably, with the data I have right now, to achieve your end year quota per account manager. If he follows up and he's mentored well. I said that's a total different game there, because then he doesn't have to be the whole day on his mobile phone, chatting, emailing, whatever. If you want to do new business, this is the pace you need to follow.
Yeah, and numbers. You could mail out thousands. You could have a sales team. That sales team is not reaching or following up with anywhere near the numbers that you sent out, which then again renders it useless if there's no follow-up.
That's one. But if you are sending thousands of contact moments, you're not following up, and your product, and you're not attractive, it compounds to a pile of shit at the end.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Too many numbers, not enough calls even. You forget the quality of the letter you're sending.
Yeah.
You could only do so many at a time.
Yeah.
And then if you send it and you don't follow up, then it's a waste at some point because it will get lost.
Yeah.
And you send an envelope, you send the letter, and then you follow up. When do you follow up?
So in the Netherlands, when I send the letter out, I always wait for 4 to 5 business days. And then I start making the phone calls. So I send mostly on Tuesday and Wednesday, I go to the post office, with a pile of letters.
Mm-hmm.
And then I send it, and then I start calling on Monday and Tuesday. That's it.
And even with the high percentages, the reception that you get when you call,
Mm-hmm.
like what's the average?
I think out of 100 letters, I didn't achieve 100 letters yet. To be funny, to achieve my financial results. That's really ridiculous. I think I get everybody on the phone, almost. I think maybe 5% not. But I see later on LinkedIn that I check my profile and everything, so I'm on the radar.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't.
And there's a percentage of people that aren't around that aren't there also.
Yeah, and
right?
there's always someone who is offended or didn't like it or has a bad experience with sales. So okay. And there's people who trying to be smart and who wants to play tough to get. Say, you know what? If you're playing already tough to get, I think you're not suitable for this product or service.
Oh, that's funny.
It's very simple.
Funny you say that, because I'm working with a company now with a product that they have.
Yeah.
And I think I don't ever want to sell a piece of equipment because I'm a printer, but this piece of equipment I think is so amazing and beneficial that I've said to the company, and it's a young fellow, so I want to help him build his company. Said, but I'm going to reach out to owners that I know because I think it's great. And when I reach out to the owner, I want 10, 15 minutes because I'm not selling. I want anybody smart, if they have a need, should be able to identify the purpose.
Yeah.
Then I could give him 6 questions that he could answer, and you do your own ROI. There's no ROI involved here on the equipment side. Either you see it or you don't. I don't have to convince you.
Yeah.
And exactly. I'm hearing the people that identify those letters are the ones that identify because they're smart. The ones that are doing the questioning are looking for like a reason not to.
No, and believe me, so in the 80s, return on marketing investment came in. So the accountant marketing became big. So when accountant marketing became big, suddenly everything has to be effective, efficient, ROI should be good. And big data came in, and data was leading because we know our customer, blah, 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 blah. So every time when I do a keynote, I always ask the people, we've been in an era of big data, and now we're in an era of AI, right? Agree. Okay, we all agree. Raise your hand if big data made you healthier, richer, less trouble, better career, everything got better. Raise your hand. Nobody's raising their hand. I said,
it's made it more complicated.
Yeah, I said, it made your life complicated, more controllable, and you didn't get richer and healthier. Your prosperity, where's your prosperity? I said, and now you're telling me that AI and big data is going to save our business. How? And that opens always a discussion, because data is always information from the past. It's never from the future. So you can predict something, what is true, but data has always a blind spot. And the blind spot is called context. For a project in Denmark, when I was doing a business design, we interviewed patients with diabetics. We were developing a new service for diabetics. But my background is business design, so I was doing the business design there for a large pharmaceutical company. And we interviewed patients. We asked them 10 patients in this hospital. 10 questions in a hospital. The same questions, 10 questions we asked them in a private space when they were at home. Same questions, different data context, total different answers. So context does matters. And that's people in sales and marketing are always forgetting when and how is the context and what's happening. And if you can control the context for the moment of 3-4 minutes, you're king. Because you're not competing with the letter with the mobile phone or digital media. There's no distraction. And I'll ask them, I said, when do you read? I said, most of the time when I grab a cup of coffee or tea, I pay attention to it. So there's really that 3-4 minutes when you have full attention of the decision maker. So if you're a knucklehead and you spoil it with AI, with a template text, don't do it.
By the way, if you have AI, there's no reason for a template. You should make them all custom, and you should be good enough to, teach the AI a certain way that you want it to do. Like, you have to, everything requires an effort and a thought, right? You're not just going into AI and saying, okay, write me a letter. The more information you're going to put in about what you want and how you want it and the details and, the level of interaction and even what typography to use.
Yeah, and here's the sweet spot for the audience, the printers, the companies in US and Canada who are watching this. When
By
I
the
go
way, they're
in,
global. I like to think we're global.
Okay, global, and the people from Mars, you're welcome. So every time when I go to let's say, young company, there's always a young marketer, totally digital savvy, blah. And I said, well, yeah, we're going to do sales letters on 210 by 279 millimeters, equivalent the letter size in the US. Oh, is that the new iPad Pro size? So there's a whole generation of young people
Dum-dums.
No, but they never received
They don't know.
or wrote. They never received or wrote a love letter. So they are doing everything with texting, with messaging, so they don't have an history. So imagine if your parents met each other with Tinder or WhatsApp. They pass away. Where is their heritage of love? Where are you going to find them? Are you going to find any love letters? Are you going to find a book? You won't find anything. So letters is all about creating memories.
I don't even think people are using love letters anymore. They're using AI to create love songs.
Yeah.
And they're sending the song, right? It's a whole different, it's agreed.
So the opportunity for the companies who are sales and marketing savvy start re-educating the young marketeers that there is a whole new world of print possible for their business. And that has all to do with education, because they are so digital savvy, they don't know what paper can do for them.
Yeah, no, I think they're getting a little better. I think they're getting a little better because I think a lot of people are getting tired of all the digital.
Yes.
It's tiring. Like, you're on it all day if you're on screens. When you go home, you got your TV, you got your phone. You don't want to take the phone at home. It's just everywhere you look. You go to the restaurant now, it's a menu, like a digital, like we're getting just bombarded with this stuff.
There's a certain fatigue. And like I said, when I speak to managing director, they say, well, I spoke to a marketing agency. They said, well, we have to do marketing qualified leads, outbound, inbound, qualification. They stack and they pile all kind of digital marketing phrases. And he is 45 years. He said, listen, I've been spending in the last 5 years shitload of money on digital marketing. And it didn't change. And you, agency or platform, promised me always two things. We care about our customers, we listen to your needs, and that's why we improved our services or platform. The reality is, you're going to pay more money to get less results because they want more money from you. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So when I show him the letter, I sent him a letter, I made a phone call, I did an appointment, and he realized, hang on.
The effort,
and this guy, Indian-looking guy who's living in Holland, is selling me sales letters with less effort, creating sympathy. He has a good story, and the only thing I ask, is this something that your team needs too?
No, you know what? Honestly, it's so simple.
Yeah, it is simple.
No, it's so simple, so easy that some people just can't even grasp it.
That's right? What I had. So it was October last year, we had an event, it's called Marketeers of the Future. So there were 160 marketeers during this event. It was a whole day. And I had a keynote as well. And I think I had 50, 60 marketeers in my keynote session. Young marketeers, they keep asking questions about, and some of them got inspired, and that's the fun part. After the event, some of the marketeers wrote me a letter. I said, you inspired me to rethink our marketing strategy, and that's why I'm sending you also a letter that I have found the guts to rethink and do it on paper back again.
Love it. Okay, so because we're coming up on our time, or we crossed our time, but there was no time limit.
Yeah.
What could we do for people listening to entice them to try this?
So the listeners, they have paper, they have envelopes, they have stamps, they have letter types and fonts, but they don't have the tactic how to execute it correctly. So what I suggest, just try it, and if you need more help, let us know.
I got an idea. Anybody listening, both of us are there to help you. But
No,
you
no, 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 no,
Wait,
no, 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 no,
hang on,
no, no,
hang on.
no, no, no.
Let me finish. Let me finish. It's my show. It's my show.
Yeah.
Anyone who wants help and another discussion, write one of us a letter.
Yes. So what we will do, that's exactly what I was saying. So write a letter to Warren.
Okay.
Yeah, to Warren. Warren collects the letters and sends a scan to me, digital. Okay. The best pitch, the best letter, will get a free support from me. That's the deal.
And the second best letter will get support from me. Because I'm going to get the support from Dharminder. So we're good. No, but you know what? And now I'm going to be interested to see, first of all, who made it to the end of this podcast and listened.
Yeah.
And of the people that listened, who's smart enough to take a free opportunity and try something.
Well, so during the event, during this Marketeers of the Future event, in the goodie bag, I put in 160 letters in the goodie bag. So with a letter, with a message that they're only allowed to open the letter the next day. You know, there was an embargo on it.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah, so, and there was in one letter a golden ticket.
It's like Charlie Wonka's chocolate.
Yeah, so it was a golden ticket, and the golden ticket winner got a free workshop from me to create a letter for not the full version, but the light version, to make a letter for their organization. So I helped them.
It's like it's the light version when you do a free subscription.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't give away all my knowledge.
No. But listen, let's do this. First of all, anyone who's smart enough to try it out and potentially, you have a better chance of getting us to help you than winning the lotto or the big power lotto. Yeah. So if you really care about your business, fill it out and try it.
Yeah.
I'd like to come back after and talk about how many letters we got, talk about the letters that we got, the type of letters that they were, and maybe we could have you critique a couple of them for pointers.
Yes, of course. We will give them positive feedback in the next episode, without naming and shaming, but about, okay, this is the type of message we got, design, paper type, quality, so I do have now a certain golden standard developed by sending all the letters, what works and does. And yeah, it's really fun. And talking about creating value. So when I speak to managing directors, and they say, okay, I will give you my business card, and people always know this size of a business card, right? The default size that's universal. So I ask my friends I redesigned my business card.
Mm-hmm.
I redesigned my business card to a new size and format. And the people of Fujifilm is no sponsoring, but I know the people of Fujifilm very well in Europe. I said, hey, can you print my business card for me on your new toner devices with 6 colors? So they ended up with making a business card with 7 colors for me. So with 7 colors. So my new business card is like a banknote. It's
That's
a
so
7
cool.
color.
That's
and
my card was printed on a Fuji press too. That's so funny.
Yeah, so I have the pink, I have the violet, I do have the orange.
Love it.
And with fine design, because I know the engines very well, because I worked for Xerox and Fiery, so I know what technology-wise can do. So I made up a banknote design. So I have a pile of banknote business cards that I'm giving away. And during that marketing event, that's really funny. So I posted my banknote that I've designed this new banknote, and there were some people, I will meet you during the event. Can you take one example for me, please? Marketing isn't expensive. It shouldn't be complex. Keep it simple, stupid.
Listen, I'll give you simple, stupid, and real life. So the t-shirt business that I'm in, I was at the last Printing United when I just put the store up, and I went there and I had printed these cards, right?
Yeah.
Just QR code, whatever. I was leaving them on the floor. I was leaving them on tables. I was leaving them on chairs. I was leaving them everywhere. And when I got home, or Week later, I get an order of 6 t-shirts from a lady who, when I got the order, I was so excited that they ordered 6 t-shirts. I was freaking out, but I picked up the phone and I called her.
Okay.
Right. And I'm like, listen, I said, Kim, I just got to tell you, oh my God, you made my day. I'm so excited. You bought so many shirts. Thank you. I have to call my friend now and tell him he's number 2 because you bought more than him. And, it was all great conversation. And then I said to her, so how did you come to the site?
Yeah.
Because I'm just doing it organically. I haven't done any paid promotion. And this is actually what killed me. Okay. And if anyone's listening, like an owner, you should listen. She said, I could not attend Printing United, so I sent 2 people. That in itself got me so excited because they're only a shop of 6 or 7 or 8 people. And she said 2.
Yeah.
Right? And she'd been there. She said, and when they came back, somebody picked your card up somewhere, said, you got to check it out, because I was changing my shirt every 90 minutes at the show. And she went online and boom. So I said to her, so marketing does work. And she said, yes.
Does work.
This cost me nothing to print.
No, exactly. There's some noise in the line on your microphone, Warren. Did you notice that or not?
No, I don't hear it, but I don't hear it.
Okay.
Okay.
No,
anyways, sorry, we're coming to an end because we're about an hour and a quarter.
Yeah.
And if my experience with you is we could talk for 3 hours and not end, and it goes on. So we're going to end it now. Right?
Yeah.
And be grateful for the people that listen this far. We will come back and do another episode on this topic when we get your letters.
Yes. So we will do a topic, and I'm from a marketing and commercial perspective. Please let Warren on that side, whatever side he is on the screen, let him know if you are interested in really want to do something with sales letters too, because it could be very interesting for Warren and for me to develop a program for the US and the Canadian audience as well. Because I think in the US and Canada, you have a better opportunity because here in Europe, we are full digital savvy, blah, blah, blah. But Sales Letters was founded in the US, and I think we should bring it back.
I'm game. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so
Warren, thank you very much.
No, thank you very much for presenting this and showing people some new thought. And I love the old school. Right?
Yes.
I love new school, but I love old school. Okay, so for everybody who is listening, we are most gracious and appreciative. If you like the letter thing, please do reach out. As always, if you know anyone who wants to be on the show, if you got something to say that's relevant in life, I want to hear it. Otherwise, thanks for listening. Dharminder, thank you again, and we'll catch everybody on the next show.
Yes, see you next time. Bye.